We apologize for that break in transmission. Welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Midday News on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Queen Agaba. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and free to air on Night Consort. The chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Ola Olukoyede, says some Nigerians complain of corruption but support corrupt leaders in various ways when they are prosecuted. Speaking at the weekend in Abuja during a visit by officials of the Center for Crisis Communication, led by Chris Olukolade, the EFCC boss pointed out the contradiction in public attitude, noting that while Nigerians decry corruption, they often support and defend corrupt leaders when they are prosecuted. Olukoyede noted that the fight against corruption required both collaboration between the government and the citizens, adding that true progress requires a collective commitment to integrity and accountability. Governor Hyacinth Alia of Benue State has charged the leadership of the Christian Association of Nigeria to join active politics in order to bring about the much-needed change in governance. The governor made the call when he played host to the North Central Zone of the association in an interactive meeting. Our correspondent Felicity Ndere has more.
With the association at the instance of Governor Hyacinth Alia is to share ideas with the body of Christ on how best to influence governance and bring about the desired change for the overall good of society. The governor told the Christian community to be preachers of peace and unity, advocates of human capital development who must insist on what is right in the sight of God. He maintained that all these can only be achieved when people with the fear of God participate actively in politics of the nation to ensure good governance.
What benefit would it be when you just stand on the side complaining and every government and regime that comes in, you complain, then you drink water and settle and then keep complaining? Are you fulfilled? You cannot be fulfilled. Be a player. Be a player. There's so much you can do. When you understand the word, it even places you on a better platform for you to bring social change.
The leadership of the Christian Association of Nigeria in the North Central region stated that they are committed to representing the church as ambassadors of not only the spiritual realm, but also for societal development. While appreciating the numerous achievements of the governor within his short time in office, the leaders of CAN encouraged him to remain focused and hold firm his vision for the state, assuring the governor of all-round support.
The challenges facing our religion today, whether in governance, security, education, economic development, or religious harmony, requires a unified approach. No single individual, institution, or government can address them alone. Progress is only sustainable when public leaders, religious organizations, civil society, and private sector work together in synergy.
Prayers were offered for the governor as well as goodwill messages from CAN leadership across the state in the North Central and the Federal Capital Territory. In Makudi, Felicity Ndere, reporting for Global TV News.
Former Minister of Interior and ex-governor of Osun State, Rauf Aregbesola, met a man who allegedly attempted to assassinate him in 2006. He says the meeting was held after the man identified as Sikiru Olaboye sought forgiveness from him. Aregbesola disclosed this in a Facebook post stating that the man visited him after calling a local radio station in Osogbo, Osun State capital, to ask for his pardon. The former governor, who described God as the ultimate forgiver, prayed for divine mercy for both himself and Sikiru. The Edo State House of Assembly has urged the State High Court to affirm the suspension of the chairman of the 18 local government areas of the state. In a suit filed on January 28, 2025, the House seeks a declaration that by virtue of the provisions of Section 20, subsection B of the Local Government Law 2000, Edo State, the first claimant, Edo State House of Assembly, has the power to suspend a chairman or vice chairman of a local government council in the state. The House had on December 17, 2024, suspended all the local government chairmen and their deputies for what it described as insubordination to Governor Monday Okpebholo. The legislative action followed a petition to the House by Okpebholo, who complained that the LG chairman shunned his directive that they should provide a council statement of account. The personal assistant to President Bola Tinubu on constituency affairs, Khadijat Karim, has urged youth, particularly students in the Southwest, to take full advantage of the federal government's student loan program to support their education. Speaking at a town hall meeting with key stakeholders in Oyo State held at Koto Hotel, Ikolaba, Ibadan, Karim expressed concern over the low participation of students in the region compared to other parts of the country. She emphasized that the loan does not require collateral, only a letter of admission, and urged parents and guardians to inform their children about the opportunity. Former Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi has congratulated Nigerian singer Temilade Okpeniyi, popularly known as Tems, on her victory in the Best African Music Performance category at the 67th Grammy Awards. He celebrated her achievement while commending the remarkable success of Nigerian youth in the entertainment industry. Taken to social media, Obi expressed his joy over the growing global recognition of Nigerian talent across various fields, particularly in entertainment. He also lauded the contribution of other Nigerian artists who received Grammy nominations, emphasizing the nation's abundant talent pool that continues to earn global recognition. Following the confirmation of an Ebola virus disease outbreak in Uganda, the Nigerian Center for Disease Control and Prevention has intensified surveillance at the country's points of entry, including airports. The agency also advised Nigerians to avoid non-essential travel to affected countries. In a public health advisory issued by the NCDC Director General, Dr. Jide Idris, the agency emphasized that there are currently no reported cases of Ebola in Nigeria. Moving on, the National Orientation Agency in Bayelsa State says it has commenced sensitization to alert the resident of an outbreak of cholera in the state. It was reported that the statewide sensitization followed confirmation of the outbreak by the state's Commissioner for Health, Professor Sheyi Efa Brisibe, on January 26th. The acting state director of NOA in Bayelsa, Grace Olobio, in a statement called on residents to be vigilant and embrace better hygiene. Olobio stated that the outbreak is believed to have been caused by contamination of water sources and poor sanitation facilities in the affected areas. She explained that signs and symptoms of the disease included diarrhea, low blood pressure, dehydration, sunken eyes, and extreme thirst, rapid weight loss, dry and shriveled skin, as well as vomiting. A US-based Nigerian cardiologist, Dr. Ikenna Erinne, reportedly held his estranged partner and their children hostage at gunpoint for 3 hours before taking his own life when police arrived. His father-in-law, Francis Van Lare, has alleged the tragic death of the 36-year-old cardiologist has sparked intense debate and widespread reactions from Nigerians both at home and abroad. Initially believed to have taken his own life due to financial strain from a $15,000 monthly child support ruling, new revelations suggest that his final moments were far more disturbing. Troops of the 6th Brigade Nigerian Army and Sector 3 of Operations Wellstroke have suddenly dismantled the notorious bandit camp in Angwambala, Kambari, within the Karim Lamido local government area of Taraba State. The brigade's acting spokesperson, Captain Oni Olubondude, in a statement, says the operation was executed following credible intelligence on the movement of suspected bandits in the area. Upon reaching the camp, the troops came under fire but swiftly responded, neutralizing one bandit. In a surprising turn, 23 others, comprising 19 men and 4 women, surrendered without resistance. You're watching the live broadcast of Midday News on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. When Midday News returns, Trump threatens to cut funding for South Africa over land policy. We'll bring you details of this as well as foreign and sports stories right after the break. Please stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. In business, over 54 oil licenses across oil blocks in the Niger Delta will expire before the end of 2025, with affected operators yet to know the fate of their assets. This comes as the prospect of oil production in the northern region lingers 2 years after former President Muhammadu Buhari flagged off commercial production at a $3 billion Komani integrated development project. While Nigeria's rig activity peaked in the middle of last year, with active rigs increasing from 29 in January to 38 in July and August before stabilizing at around 37 through November. The drilling activities at the Ebenyi-1 exploration well in Nasarawa State, which was stalled due to issues with the hole and equipment breakdown, has not made serious progress. Annual inflation slowed in Turkey in January for the 8th consecutive month. According to official figures, consumer prices rose by 42.1% year-on-year, compared with 44.3% a month earlier. Figures from Turkey's TÜİK Statistics Institute report that Turkey has experienced double-digit inflation since 2019, making life increasingly more expensive for millions of people, notably hitting the cost of education, housing, healthcare, and restaurants, as well as hotels. European stocks slumped at the open Monday after U.S. President Donald Trump says he would impose EU tariffs after launching trade wars with Canada, China, and Mexico. The Paris and Frankfurt stock markets initially shed more than 2%, driven down by heavy losses for automakers, while London's drop was less sharp after Trump indicated that Britain would likely avoid immediate tariffs. Around 20 minutes after the open, markets were slightly firmer, with Frankfurt down 1.6% and London losing 1%. The federal government has announced plans to introduce an annual electricity subsidy of $600 million for all consumers from 2025 as part of efforts to reform the power sector. The subsidy, expected to last until 2027, aims to bridge the gap between cost-reflective tariffs and regulated electricity rates, while the government works towards eliminating the metering deficit and enhancing the financial sustainability of power distribution companies. Nigeria's Energy Compact document stated that the initiative is part of the National Energy Compact and aligns with U.S. President Donald Trump says he will cut off future funding to South Africa over allegations that it was confiscating land and treating certain classes of people very badly. Last month, President Cyril Ramaphosa signed into law a bill that allows land seizures without compensation in certain circumstances. Land ownership has long been a contentious issue in South Africa, with most farmland still owned by white people, 30 years after the end of the racist system of apartheid. 15 people, including 14 women, have been killed in a car bomb attack on a vehicle transporting cultural workers in northern Syria. Another 15 women were wounded by the blast on the outskirts of the city at Manbij east of Aleppo, according to the Syria Civil Defense. The agency, which is also known as the White Helmet, says some of the wounded were in a critical condition and warned that the death toll might rise. There was no immediate claim from any armed groups. Keir Starmer is heading to Brussels to join a gathering of European Union leaders, the first time a British Prime Minister has done so since Brexit. Starmer is heading over the English Channel for talks focused on defence and security cooperation and would also meet NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte. The trip is part of what he calls a reset between the UK and the European Union. The government has promised the UK will not rejoin the EU's single market or customs union or sign up to freedom of movement. In sports, Britain and Hove Albion are set to announce the signing of Greek forward Stefanos Tsitsipas in a £22 million deal, with the transfer set to be completed in July. The striker will remain on loan at German club Nürnberg for the rest of the season. Football transfer expert Fabrizio Romano confirmed the development via a post on X, stating that the 18-year-old has already completed his medical ahead of the summer move. A few hours after President Donald Trump announced that he would impose steep tariffs on Canada, hockey fans in the capital Ottawa booed the Star-Spangled Banner during a National Hockey League game against a visiting U.S. team. During a National Basketball Association game between the Toronto Raptors and the Los Angeles Clippers, it happened again, continuing throughout the song and almost drowning out the 15-year-old singer's arena performance. The vocal displeasure from usually respectful fans is a clear sign of Canadians' deep dismay at Trump's move to hit the nearest ally with punitive taxes, which threatens to spark an unprecedented trade war on the North American continent. The former president of Spain's Football Federation, Luis Rubiales, goes on trial, accused of sexual assault for kissing the player Jenny Hermoso, in a case which has fed into wider discussions about sexism and consent. Hermoso is scheduled to appear as a witness on the opening day, having traveled from Mexico, where she plays club football. The trial runs until 19 February.